Good morning. Good afternoon for the rest of you. How's everybody doing? Decent Globex. If not for you guys, I'd be out in the sun. I'm done. There was some nice trading. Nice trading in Globex. And you didn't even have to catch the short. There were some beautiful trades back and forth in these balance zones. It was just great. So overnight inventory is short. The majority of the inventory is underneath yesterday's low. We are going to have some margin call selling off the open. Okay. Those who haven't been margined out already are probably, that'll happen. We're looking for 75, 11 and a half. And I think when the market opens, off the open, I think lower to find the bid. You know, this 75, 11 and a half, it's a big level. So do we open above it or below it? I think we open and try and test that 7,500. Do not be surprised if we get a little bit of liquidation off the open, okay? If we don't get any liquidation, we're going to straight correct inventory higher, okay? We're going to open on a gap, okay? We're going to open on a gap because we're opening underneath yesterday's low. That's why you will have liquidating inventory from these sessions spilling out. You'll notice when we liquidated, we came right back into this area. This is the cost basis. Before the move, distribution, right? And put it on sale, okay? Now, of course, it's a news-driven event, but it's always the same. News comes out in Globex, there's no one around to buy it, it drops. And some very lucky people get some nice cheap inventory under 74.81. We had some beautiful trades down here. We had some nice trades in Globex. So right now, we've got sellers up here. That's 75, 12, 15 area. We are in distribution, right? We're taking this and we're selling it here. We may come back down and test this area. Okay? Be aware of that because I just saw headlines. Oh, what's this guy saying now? Right? I told you this war thing is it's not going away quietly, right? How do we measure long short? Really simple. All you do, and LC has he has one of the charts he has built for this. You look at the volume traded above the close over the volume traded underneath, and that'll give you a percentage. So sometimes the market will close and then it'll gap up like this. That's 100% long. This would be 100% short. I'd say inventory is probably maybe 80%, 90% short. I'd say 80% of the time and volume is under yesterday's close. Does that make sense, Jonathan? So you look for a move to counterbalance that inventory. Hey Keith, how you doing? Let me know when you figure out your microphone thing. Right? It's real simple. Now here's the thing, Jonathan. We're looking for an inventory correction higher. What if we don't get one? What if there isn't, right? That means we got a seller, right? We always need to know do we got a seller? Do we have a buyer? What's going on? You know, word on the street, right? If this was New York, you would go ask, just go ask Jimmy 2 times where the seller is, right? So, right, you had sellers up here at 14, 15, they moved down to 12, they moved down under 12. Now they're under VWAP. Now the seller is here, right? So that's how you guys get your fancy trend lines, right? Trend going up means the bid is following the offer higher. Trend going down means the offer is moving lower. Market's being put on sale. That's all it is. It is nothing more than that. Either we're selling at a premium or at a discount, right? Exactly. Walmart, Saks, right? Or what they love here in the UK, they have a thing called TK Maxx, which is like TJ Maxx. My girlfriend goes in there, man. She buys all these weird cosmetics. It's crazy. Oh, it's like 80% off. Okay, I'll buy it. Some cream made out of snail. It's just great. Gross. But they sell it. People buy it. Now it's being marked down. Right? That's all this is, right? Where are the ladies in our room? It's real simple, Jonathan. This whole business is really simple. And the reason why you and I want to keep it simple is so we can focus on the execution. Because execution, how do I say this? Execution can be a royal pain in the ass because the order flow is never the same twice. The order flow is never the same twice. And when the markets change their agenda, the order flow changes. As soon as the agenda changes, the order flow itself will change. Agenda creates order flow. Now you guys have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, right? Oh, the point of control finally moved down. All right. Agenda creates order flow. Okay? Let me give you an example. How much time? I got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I'll make it quick. Say a client gives me an order to buy 1 million shares of a stock and it's trading at, let's see, use something realistic, right? Back in the day, they tell me to buy 1 million shares of Crab Apple. Don't spend more than 195 and get me the best prices on a liquidation. What you want to do, right, is you want to make that stock look really weak so you can buy a lot of it cheap. Right? This is something that you've heard stories of, but you've never actually seen it or experienced it because this stuff happens behind very, very closed doors. So if I wanted to buy 1 million shares of a stock, I would make that stock look like shit. I would beat the holy living crap out of that stock and scare as many buyers as I could out of it. So then I could get somebody to puke a position. It's like holding somebody upside down and shaking all the money out of their pockets. That's what real trading is. Real trading is like a bank heist, right? It's like you're taking down a score. Okay? So agenda would create the order flow that makes the stock look weak. Ooh. Dope. Leslie is on fire. How is that thing doing? Oh, 150 by the skin of its teeth. It's holding that IPO price like Sylvester Stallone. Remember that movie where Stallone was the rock climber and he's like hanging onto a cliff just by the tips of his fingers? This thing is holding the 150s cliffhanger. That was the movie. SpaceX is holding on to 150 like Stallone and cliffhanger. Right? I should be. I'm curious. I mean, I really don't want to live on Mars. I got nothing against the guy, right? I mean, all the power to him. I I've seen pictures of Mars. I'd rather live on Oahu, right? If given the choice, I'll take Honolulu over Mars any day. It'll be a lot cheaper too. Better beaches, right? Anyway, that's to be resolved. Okay, where are we going to open this thing? Oh, we're going to open it right at 75.11. And look where the point of control is. Okay, so we got a minute here. Let's see what we're going to do. It's going to open. So on the opening checklist, is it choppy? We're going to have a gap, right? We're going to have a gap down. So we're going to have margin calls, right? Yeah, going into the mindset of heat. Exactly, Jay. Right? When you do a deal, it's like taking down a score, right? You plan out the deal, you take it public, and you blast out the stock, and then you go and do the next score. And back in the days, they used to have different crews that would work deals. Had crews out of Florida and Staten Island and Long Island and crews out of Miami, Boca Raton, crews out of Orlando, La Jolla, San Diego, and then Seattle, then the Texans. We had one crew that was out of Rochester, New York. Look at that. There's an inventory correction up. And they were all ex-military. Right? So they banged down those 13, 12, 11 bids really quick. If you can't pick a direction, don't worry about it. Just relax. Okay? Right here, we're right underneath VWAP. There's really no trade just yet. We're looking for a move back up above VWAP, but there seems to be a seller at 8 and 9. Right? Let's see what happens when the next candle opens. It'll give us a little bit more info on the 1 minute. Right? It's actually shared, Jonathan. If you want to just go, do you ever go into my section? The JJ levels and all that stuff. It's all there on this Discord server. Yeah, yeah. I post everything. That's like I posted some articles this morning, looking for that 7,500. What I'm looking for now is to see where the hell the bid is. I know we've got inventory here, right? We've got a ton of inventory in this area here. But we are getting these bids for some reason. Seller at VWAP. Okay, that's good to know. Just take it easy, relax, let the market open. Now, if we can hold VWAP, if we can hold 75.11, I'll buy a few, right? See if I can get some at like just a little under 12, but not, yeah, come on. There we go. Gotcha. Right? Now, let's see. My stop is already taken out. Big candle, right? If it pops back up over 11 and a half, 12, I'll buy it again, right? So candles are big, right? Just because the candles are big doesn't mean you should use a huge stop, okay? No reason to use a really big stop. If you're wrong, just get out of it. You can always buy it again, right? Now I'm long 12 and I'm selling 14, right? Okay. Got to be quick. Yeah, exactly, right? It's okay to be wrong, right? One thing in this business, especially in volatile markets, learn how to admit you're wrong quick. I bought those 12s, and as soon as it got underneath 11, I was like, I'm gone, right? I'm gone at VWAP. Didn't even hold VWAP. Then it flushed it, popped back out. You buy it back, sell into it, right? Now watch this 11 and a half. See, the overnight cost basis is here. Let's see if we can do that again. Right? Okay, there's a seller here. See? You can see that where the sellers are, my friends. Mark them off. Because if you do end up going long, and you will at some point, you want to know where the hell to get out of your position, right? Watch the behavior of the offer at that white line. There seem to be some 6 bids, right? See, we still can't get a 13 and a half quarter print, right? Let's see if we can now. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, come hang out with us at Trading Syndicate. We'll teach you. Look at that, right? So with the candles being as large as they are, your margin of error, you lose your margin of error really quick. So if I were you, I would let this market settle in a little bit if I traded it. If you're a novice trader, kind of chill out a little bit, you know? If you're fast, once this thing clears 13, 14, it'll take a run at that 17, 16. But if it doesn't have the order flow to do it, we're going to go flush the 7,500 again. Don't be surprised if we do that, okay? There are sellers up here in the 12s. That's okay. Let's get them to sell it as cheap as they can. Let's flush them out at 4, right? Just because they want to sell at 12 doesn't mean they can. But there you go. Damn it, I missed that. Come on. Yeah, okay, they sold into it. Where's the bid? Where's the bid? Watch for the bid. Now, if you are trading this, make sure you have your offers out, right? Make sure your offers are out because you got sellers at 13 and a quarter. So if it pops 14, 15, at least you get taken, right? Yes, thanks, Jam. The news is about 8 hours old, but thanks, brother. Good morning. But someone give the man his donut, and then he'll come out and say everything's okay. And then we'll rally up 50, 100 points. It's okay. We needed to flush out inventory. If in a fast market, Milo, if my offers don't get taken, I hit flatten. If my offers don't get taken, I hit flatten. Or I hit sell bid, sell bid, sell bid twice, and then hit cancel all. That's why you should have a simple DOM. Come on, move that seller at 14. That seller's like, there we go, there we go, there we go. So if you bought VWAP, under 12, sell them here. Don't be greedy, because there's going to be a seller, right? If you're working that back and forth, right? Don't be too greedy. There's enough money to be made, but you don't have to, because if you're too greedy, what's going to happen is they're going to take all your money. But basically, we got a box somewhere here. I'd say, yeah, I'd give it that, right? These lows, that high, boom, boom, right? That's what you're looking for, right? We're looking for this. Zip, 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 zip. Seller here, seller stop selling here, right? That's all we're looking for. So now you just work that box back and forth. Right? Yes, just work that range. I bought a little at 8 and I'm selling them at 11. Right? If you got a few more left, sell them. Right? Look at that. They're just taking them. Ooh, I love that. I love that. Beautiful. And I'm flat. See? I finally had the candle work out for me, right? I drew the box. I waited. I didn't screw around in the middle. Right? That bid, once you guys get this, if you understand this concept, it's going to make your life so much easier. So much easier, right? Just work that box back and forth, right? Now we're going to go take this and sell it. Your next target's going to be 75.29 and a half, right? Which will be your previous day low. We'll be looking for a gap fill. Yeah, so this is 4 times cost basis. Then we'll go to 8 times cost basis, right? I redrew the cost basis from this morning, because this morning I had a cost basis, and then obviously, his dib said that we're still attacking. So there you go, right? Now, where's the inventory, right? Exactly, Milo, exactly. That's what we call liquidity, where the two-way trade is. Now you're cooking with gas. What are we gonna do with all these Kaiser rolls, right? What are we gonna do with all this? We gotta take them and sell them. Get rid of them up here. The difference is profit. Now, here's the helpful thing. If enough people are short, I'd say if we have enough people short under 7,500, this thing will fill the gap. If we have enough shorts trapped, it will definitely go and fill the gap. Look for a retrace back to position now, my friends. So I would say 75.11 again. If we can't get down to 75.11, right? Well, actually, they're not resting, Milo. It's not like they're taking a nap, but it's actually inventory. But you're close. Sorry, I had to say that. Okay. They are very awake. I don't know where you guys get that resting order from. That's a very adorable sort of saying that retail, they use that resting orders. I think of little trade tickets sitting on, like lying on pillows, having a nap, Quite adorable. I don't know where you guys get this stuff from. So when the market sells off, Milo, dealers have inventories. Think of these as shelves. And the dealers have to take in that inventory. Passive orders, yes. Passive. Oh my God, that's funny. If I told my client I was putting passive orders out, I wonder how long it would be before they stabbed me in the eye with a pencil. Yes, I'm going to work your order as a passive order. That's a good one, Seymour. I could just imagine me telling the penguin, yeah, it's a passive order, just so I could get his blood pressure going. See if I could get my client to have a stroke. Oh, no, it's just inventory. Sorry, guys. I'm in a weird mood, right? It's just inventory, right? You see all these contracts, it's all trapped inventory. Somebody had to buy this crap and they're trapped. So that's what the single prints are. They're just separating two distributions. On the way up, it's a short position. On the way down, it's supply. Just really simple, right? Oh, yeah. See, the thing is, you guys just have not heard the phone calls. What's on the other end of that phone when your client's asking you whether you sold, he sees 200,000 shares go across the tape. And if that's not his sell, you're about to get, how do I put this politely? Well, there's no way to put it politely. Your client's going to rip your face off. What you want to do, Milo, is you want to watch the reaction. So if we start ripping up through 23 all the way up to 28, it means we ran out of supply and the wholesalers are going to raise the price, right? That's all. There's going to be some selling. And then you want to see, is it aggressive? Right? See, not that aggressive. See, we ran out of supply. 24 and 3/4. Yeah. Levels are working. I apologize. I've been a little. I'm just joking around with you guys. Oh boy. What's next here? Back down to VWAP probably. Yeah, like if we were long, we would be selling before we got to the singles. 12 and 3/4. You know what would be a good trade, Jay? If it came down to 12 and 3/4, dipped underneath that 11.5, came back up above it, you could buy it here and put your stop here, and then sell into this move back up. That's how I'd sort of game that trade out, right? A look below and fail of VWAP is nice too. When VWAP is flat, you can trade off of it. It's not that bad, but just be quick. Just be quick, you know? No, not really. Not as a rule. Great place to get out. You can initiate if VWAP is flat and you are fast. It's not the greatest. Nice work, Arcroy. Well done. So who was asking? Jay. Let's see if we can do that trade now, that 12 and 3/4. Right? You can see they sold a good amount of contracts up here, right? They took this stuff, they sold it, now they're putting it on sale, probably back down here again. Let's watch that 12 and 3/4. Wait till it comes back up over 12 and 3/4. See, there's a seller right there, you see? Let it test VWAP. There you go, there you go. But man, you got to be quick. You got to be quick. Now, if it holds 12 and 3/4, there's a seller. There's a seller there. Let's see. Here we go. There's going to be a seller at under 15 too. This is why it's a tough trade. It can very, very easily go really wrong really quickly. That's the problem with this trade. There's your bid. That's what you're looking for. Take it again, but you're selling, right? Now you're selling, right? You're flat, right? You buy 12 and 3/4 again, use VWAP as your out, and you're flat by 15, 16. So the first time, that's why we waited until it looked below VWAP and came back up. Because if I had bought it here on that touch, I would have gotten stopped out. Get it? But you were right, Jay. You just have to wait for the right timing of it. But that was a great trade, right? Look below and fail of 12 and 3/4. It was fast, right? Wait till it flushes VWAP and see, Milo, what you're doing here. This is when you turn the person upside down. This is when you shake all the contracts out of their pocket. And then now you have a just a clearer move because you've got all of that inventory. And your stop, if you're buying 12 3/4, your stop's just here. Because if it takes you out here, then you're not supposed to be in the trade anyway. Right? Yeah. That is why people tell you to be patient. That's what you're waiting for. But they never tell you what you're waiting for. We, in our room, we tell you that's what you're waiting for. And then we told you right here that that trade was going to happen and how we would do it. And that's exactly what we did. I did not take a look above and fail of 24 3/4. I saw it in my head. You know why I didn't take it? Because I was looking for this. I was looking for a move up to 26 and then back down. So when it did, it kind of caught me by surprise. My discipline wasn't the greatest. I should have taken that. We should have been short 23 24, stop 25 26. But my discipline was not, my discipline was lacking when we were there. I was looking for a look above and fail, but it was a fail to look above. It hit the level to the tick. Now let's see what it does. I think more sideways, you know? I think sideways, we're going to test the 11.5s again. Do not be surprised if that's not the low for the morning, okay? We're not that far away from the low. Don't be surprised. This is a two-way market, right? Yeah. No, you're right, Animal Hustles. You can't get them all. I'm kind of dialed in, but I've been up since like 4 or 5 in the morning for some weird reason. So, you know, it's 3 o'clock. After I'm done with you guys, oh, do you guys want an execution class today? Folks in the room. Okay. We'll do it at 11, okay? Link will be provided. My God, we're still in A period. We're still in the first half hour of trading? Oh my God. It will be taped. It'll be recorded. Holy crap, this is a long half hour and we still have 4 minutes. Cheapers. Oh. It's like, for the non-metric peoples, it's like 80 degrees and sunny here. I want to be outside. I'm sure there'll be a soccer game this afternoon. I saw people coming from the soccer game yesterday, and I don't know who it was, but it was somebody, I think Argentina, and these people were crying. Like they were crying. I was like, I thought there was like an accident has happened. It's like, what's going on? No game today? Can I do a class on common problems? Sure. We can do that today. Yeah, I don't watch soccer, but these people were crying. It was kind of hard to miss. Hey, Nicholas. Yeah, we've got a couple of folks from Argentina. Like, dude, they were like crying, walking down the street, crying, like sobbing. It's like I thought there was a car accident or something. They must have been the other team. I don't know. I stopped watching sports after Walter Payton. You know, it just is not the same without him. All right, we're looking up here for the 20 area. We know there's going to be sellers. Zip right there. All right. Okay. So Mike and Jonathan, are you guys going to be there at 11? Please bring those questions with you. And we'll start it out on those two subjects. Perfect. Done. Done and double done. Oh my God, we're still in A period. I keep looking at the Discord and I keep looking back at the chart going, we're still in the first half hour. Oh, here we go. This is beginning to become like work. Okay, there's that 20 seller. I told you there'd be a seller at 20. Now, if they see bids, they will raise their offers to 22. You caught it. Nice work, Matt. How's life in Cowtown? Summer hit Alberta yet? Oh, Stampede. Oh, I'll avoid that. They still do that, eh? Wow. Calgary Stampede. Ooh, aggressive seller, eh? Look at that. Aggressive seller. Ah, okay. Okay, what am I gonna trade? I'm gonna trade micro. And I'm gonna trade small because I'm starting to get lazy. Right? Sellers are competing, Milo. I'm starting to get lazy. So when I start to get lazy, oh, finally, the first half hour is done. We're right in the middle of this opening range half hour. So let's see if it holds the middle of it. Oh, it does. So if you are long 14.15, oh, now we know the sellers are there. Seller moved down, my friends. The seller moved down quite aggressively. Did you notice that? Milo gave us the heads up a little while ago. He said, right, sellers are competing, and they are. Look, they moved from 20 down to 18 and aggressive. Now the next candle is going to open. Watch to see if we can get back up over 18 or if that aggressive seller is still there. The only reason they're aggressive is because they see the bids disappearing. If they see buyers coming in, their algorithms will pull the offer. See? Now, I wouldn't trade this because it's choppy for me right now, right? I'll wait for an edge, right? Because I've done okay this morning. I'm not giving any of it back. I'm not giving a frickin' penny back unless the trade is 100% clear. And unless this market shows me a valid reason to do business, I'm not trading, right? That's how you protect the money that you made. You have to do that. But you can't, oh, I'll just, I made 5 grand today. Oh, I can go and lose 1,000. No, you can't. Right? If you're going to throw away $1,000, throw it my way. Right? I could go to Spain for a week on $1,000 and have a really good time. Have a couple of cigars. Traveling out of the UK is really cheap. Definitely, Jonathan. You got to be like that client I had who made $7 million in a week, and then he stiffed the guy who was painting his fence for 2 grand. Now, don't do that with real people. Do that with the market. Be just a bastard with your money. The money that you make in the market, don't ever give it back. Just be a ruthless bastard. Okay? Be cheap. Be cheap. Just be ruthlessly cheap. This is a business where the best way to preserve capital and preserve profits is just to be a ruthlessly cheap bastard, right? Exactly. If you're in a trade, right, the way we will teach you is there's a business reason to take the trade. The stop is placed in a place where the trade doesn't make business sense. For example, right, say we were a buyer at 12 and 3/4 again, right? Our stop would be here under VWAP. Because if I'm long here trying to sell here and here, if somebody puts it for sale at 10, there's no reason for me to own it here. My inventory is mispriced, right? So your stop is based on the fact that the trade doesn't make sense, right? So as soon as you go, like you're going along 12 and 3/4, 13, your stop 11 and a half, right away, boom, boom. And then as soon as you get hit, go put your sell orders out. And we want you to do that at the edge. That's the best place because this is where you get the best deal. That's where you get the best discount. So see if we had bought 12 and 3/4, our stop would have been right here. We would have been out of that trade here. Do you see that? Yeah, Milo, I've done that trade a couple of times while we've been on, right? Remember, that's why we did the look below and fail of VWAP. That's exactly what that is. And VWAP's nice and flat. Nice work. Beautiful. Now we're going to have sellers at 20. It seems dangerous, right? And that's good self-preservation. Right, Milo? If it feels dangerous to you, that's your inner self saying maybe you're not ready for it just yet. And that's a smart thing. Don't fight that. In time, that will diminish. As you gain experience, and experience is just repetition, that feeling of it's dangerous will start to fade a bit. And it'll slowly, because you'll gain experience. But it's good to have that because then you just don't take dangerous trades, right? Good stuff, Matt. Good stuff. you guys don't mind, I'm just gonna go see what Leather Jacket guy's doing with Nvidia here. Front plate page of Bloomberg this morning. What I'd love, I'd love a look below and fail of 158 on Nvidia. Yeah, worst case scenario 179 back up to 186, 192. That'd be a nice swing. Ooh, Intel gap down. Microsoft, Aha. Apple back under 313. That was quite a move from 273 to 313. That worked really nice. It's just taking a breather. Everything seems bigger than it is. The ranges are so big. Waiting for VWAP? Yeah. Oof. Cool. Nicely done, our Croy. Nicely done. Oh, most of the investment money or inventory. Most of the inventory is just underneath us. This is the inventory from the overnight. This is the current inventory, right? It's a little bit above us. We did sell quite a bit of contracts up here at 75.20. This right now is still a distribution of this cheap stuff from down here. See? We do have sellers up here in the 25s all the way down. And right now we're just doing this. See? It's just two-sided business right now, Milo, while we wait for some more customers. Right? So the wholesalers, what they'll do is they'll buy 15, 14, 13, 12, right? And then if it bounces off EWAP back up, they'll be on the offer from 16, 17, 18, 19. Marking what levels? See, I don't really use the TPO other than to see, the point of control is above us at 75.20. You see where the open is, and that, I'm really focusing on the 1 minute candle chart to see the rotations, right? The overnight POC is kind of meaningless right now. So what you want to do now, Milo, the market's been open for 40 minutes or so, almost 45 minutes. What you want to do is you want to concentrate on the chart to your left. The TPO chart's great, but right now it's not really telling you much, right? You can see what I'm trying to do, and I don't mean to sound rude. I don't want you to waste a lot of your time looking for clues on a TPO chart that don't exist, right? So now we take out that open. Let's see if we can come down. See, I haven't even cleaned up my TPO chart, right? Let's see if we can hold that A low, right? Remember we said that there is going to be some selling because we are gap down, and the news isn't really that great, right? So we might be bombing somebody again tonight. Who knows, right? So it'll be just back and forth, back and forth, right? Now the TPO charts are a great thing, and I don't mean to slag on them or anything, but you can spend a lot of time digging into a TPO chart, and it's interesting as all hell, but you're not going to make a penny from it. And I learned that the hard way. I spent years, and TPO was a wonderful education, but there's only three things that you need from a TPO chart: poor low, poor low, poor high, single prints, and where's the inventory. When you're actually going to take your trades, you're going to do them off a 1 minute candle. And then you'll progress to, a 5 and a 15 minute exactly, right? Very well put, Seymour. Action builds evidence. There you go. A poor high means that there's sellers competing. A poor low means that buyers are competing. So what happens when you see a poor low? You buy the poor low, you put your stop underneath it. If you see a poor high, you sell the poor high, you short it, you put your stop above it. So it's really simple, right? You don't need to overcomplicate it any more than that, right? Yeah, the poor low is formed because the sellers stop selling. Why do they stop selling at that level? Because they see buyers through their little glass door and they raise price, and the buyers, in fact, follow price higher, right? There you go, right? And at a poor high, all the sellers start to compete, and then one of them undercuts, then they all start undercutting each other price wise so they can capture the client, the buyer. Buyers see that them lowering price and they start dropping their buy orders. So that's what precipitates the move lower, like right now, right? Not that there's a poor low, but had there been, right? You can watch the offer now. We're dropping in. Last time we got down to 75.02, there was a bid. Let's see if it's still there half an hour later, right? Let's see. Here we go. We're going to test it. Come on. Almost there. Yes, if you see a desperate seller, Jonathan, you'll try and get a better price, right? You walk onto a car lot and there's 25 of the exact same car, and you're the only guy on the lot. You can try and get a better price. That is a poor low. So if you bought that, say you bought two or three, like say you're long two, sell 4 or 5. Be quick because they're going to sell into it. Your stop is underneath that poor low. So say you're long two, 2.5, 3. Sell, 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 selling there. That's exactly it. You just saw it right there. Poor low, right? Poor low, buy the poor low, put your stop here, and then sell into it. But do it quickly. Will that hold? I have no clue, right? I have no clue. But that's a poor low. You buy the poor low, you put your stop underneath it, and you move quickly to get out of it. That is an old time market profile trade. That trade works really well in slow markets, right? In a Globex market, that trade will work much better than now because I think we're going to break it now. Watch. Ooh, pounding on it, right? Not quite there. Every time we get down to the twos, that bid's there. See? It was there half an hour ago. It's still there. Look, right? The bid was here. There it is. Do it again. Boom. Long 3, sell 6. There you go. It held. There now you see, you guys saw in real time how a poor low works. That is a major market profile point. That's one of the tradable things, right? Exactly. Right? And we knew to look for it there. Why? Because it was there before. Right? Yeah, we failed. Yeah, exactly. Italian trader. The bid was there again. See? Very simple. I did take it the first time, right? But I didn't take it the second time. No, I would no, that was a pure market profile trade, Jay. Buy the poor low, stop underneath it, and out. Why is it a valid trade? Because it is a market profile only trade. That's why. And because I spent 10 years learning market profile. And that was one of the only actionable market profile trades. There's so many market profile theories, but there's not a lot of actionable, practical market profile trades, right? It's not a look below and fail. You didn't look below anything. It's called a poor low, right? Let's not try and reinvent Webster's dictionary here, guys, okay? I didn't write this shit up. I didn't create it. I'm teaching the classical market profile poor low. You guys could call it, you know, 3 goats and a camel for all I care. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach you something that was created in the 80s and that books have been written about. And it's one of the only actionable things of market profile there is, right? There you go. The business is really simple, Milo. We went through it, right? So when the sellers get down to 75.02, they look through that glass door. They see a lineup of buyers. What do? They raise price. That's the business. There's nothing more to it than that. That is really, really simple. Good stuff, all right. Good stuff. Yeah, it's repetition, 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 right? I'm actually surprised that it held. Dang, that tells me a lot. That low held. Now, I mean, we still have, don't get me wrong, we still have 9 minutes left in this period and the whole day ahead of us. But if we can't break that low and then we can't take out 75.11, look for a rotation back up. Because even though we have bad news, this market is a market that has limited supply. Right? So let's go take a look at where is I used to have another chart. Where is it here? Let's go look at the volume on some stocks. Okay? What do we got here? Crab Apple, 68 million shares. Big deal. Apple has 16 billion shares in the float. 68 million shares is nothing. Look at how low the volume is in these deals compared to the stock that's available to trade. There's nothing. Ooh, Meta. Well, Meta is a thin stock. The thing trades like a penny stock. And even then, only 28 million shares. These stocks are thinly traded. So, sure, there's a war, but it doesn't mean that Microsoft or Apple is going to miss earnings and we just had a quarter. There's only so much supply. What's in DTC does not trade. Go look it up. It's on a very secretive website. Very, very secretive website. It's called Yahoo Finance. Go type in the symbol and then go click on statistics, right? And it'll tell you the float, right? Apple's got 14.6 billion shares in the float. 65% is held by institutions, and it only trades between 50 and 80 million shares a day, right? Let's go look at Tesla, right? Tesla's float is what? 2.6 billion shares, right? Between insiders and institutions, it's like 70% held. And out of 2.6 billion shares available to trade, only trades between 50 and 40 million shares a day. Right? So these stocks are thinly traded. That's why the market never stays down for long, because none of these stocks nobody sells. They're holding these things for 30 or 40 years. So what little stock is out there, it gets batted back and forth like a ball of yarn with a kitten. And you guys are just trying to catch those swings. That's all it really is. Once you understand the background of business you're doing, it makes your job a lot easier because then you don't have crazy expectations, right? And then you don't fantasy trade. And exactly, no one cares that if they're selling Apple. It's been that way for a very long time. Ever since trillion-dollar institutions were invented, floats have been tied up for quite a long time. This is nothing new. Nobody ever talks about it. Business is slow. It's coffee time, Milo. Now is algo smoke break, right? The algorithms are outside the exchange puffing on Marlboro Reds. I will be teaching the investment course soon, Arcroy. I think you just volunteered to be a guinea pig for it. I accept. We will chat. Upside gaps are harder to close. You're right. There's some supply. You have to. Arcroy swing trades stocks. She's like an octopus at the open. She's trading a bunch of different things. So definitely. There's a lot of people who trade stocks and even invest that don't, day trade. They don't have the time or they don't have, you know. You remind me of the octopus in the Flintstones, that's the operator, like trading multiple things, watching this position, that position. That's too much like work. Getting lazy in my old age. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it. All right, folks, I'm going to hop. And it's always work. I don't want it to be work, Arcroy. You know I'm naturally lazy by disposition. We will see you in half an hour. 11 a.m. execution class. Bring your questions, please. And thank you, folks on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Come, I'm supposed to, do some advertising. So please come join us at tradingsyndicate.org. If you're having trouble, this market is a pain in the ass to trade, okay? If you're having trouble, reach out. If you need help, I'm around. Thanks, everyone. We will see you, the rest of you, in half an hour, and the gang on YouTube will see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now. Thank you.